Hello and welcome back to Dark Souls. Now, why are we here if last time we were at the Ash Lake? Don't worry, we will be able to fully revisit it soon enough. Maybe one of them that, dull moment, like when I can't still beat Sif. But to progress instead on another front and to adapt to, fulfill the stuff that I mentioned to you, you may notice in the top left corner that I have a huge load of soft humanities. This is because we're back at the Daughter of Chaos we discovered after beating Priscilla. What we need to do, unfortunately she cannot talk much, what we need to do is to, well, at least for now, forge a covenant with her, like now. The covenant of the Daughter of Chaos. As you can see, she is not really in good shape, and she gives us good pyromancies actually, and we level up by offering humanity, and we offer exactly 30 humanity. Here we go. We will level up the covenant just enough to obtain another great pyromancy, which will be useful later when we actually start throwing fire, and they just say that we open indirectly a shortcut. This is actually one of the more cryptic shit, but the game doesn't really tell you. Otherwise, you have to experiment it.
Are you prepared to
Let's see. This guy instead offers you to a servant roster, which is basically an online tab on who actually is around. He can also power up our Pyromancy Flame, but we don't need right now. Again, all of that another time. But we needed to move forward. You may notice, audience, but this stream is going to be in 30 FPS instead of 60. This is because I noticed that before. I dread for this stream potentially lag up or jump around, because I noticed that in previous one it tends to do that where near a bonfire or something big when huge amount of fires are involved. And guess what dungeon we're dealing with now? Lava. So let's have fun.
Oh boy.
Specifically for now, the Demon Ruins. We should be equipped enough to actually progress further.
Oh yeah. Like a bonfire and a volcano, that'll go well.
With fairwaves, these are our checkpoints, these are like magical bonfires. As you can, well, see, potentially, trust me, the look in the PS3 version was even worse because the bloom effect was super blinding. I recommend watching a video on YouTube on how distracting it is. The floor is lava for the most part, so we need to progress through. I think this is actually the wrong road to go through. We need instead to move somewhere else. Ignore these guys. They are aggressive. Some of you are aggressive and will try to attack you, but they're slow as molasses, so you can easily, dodge them.
And if you look around, you will see the scattered limbs of Anakin Skywalker.
I can still see more here than I could in that one stage in 06, so...
To be fair, Shiro, this is the remastered version. Like I said, the original PS3 version had the bloom effect after the wazoo, so it was kind of the polar opposite of Flame Core, actually, when I think about it. Flame Core was very dark.
That's the name of it. I can't really name any stage from that game.
I can't believe it, I remember a Sonic stage and you don't. And you call yourself a Sonic fan.
I'd rather forget that one.
So Shiroi told me a day or so ago that the new Who Wants to Be a Millionaire video game.
Oh yes.
The PS4 one that's coming out a week after the day of this recording, is gonna have a battle royale mode.
Hold on, give me a second, Lives, because there is someone here. After all, we traversed the fog gate like it's a boss arena, and this guy, but it seems to be very passive right now, not attacking us. Oh well, I'm sure he will not be aggressive towards us. And oh, look at that! There's a convenient item there. Blibs, we haven't had a choice in a long time. Should I pick it up?
No.
Shiroi?
Yes.
Alright, decision time. And let's pick it up, why not? In 3, 2, 1. Oh shit, I just made him aggressive.
Gee, thanks, Shiroi.
Now,
you're supposed to run after you take it.
To be fair, I actually need to defeat
You're not
this guy to progress.
supposed to take it at all.
Alright, The strategy for this guy is the ceaseless discharge. Is actually very easy. You need just to bait, there you go, his attacks, and then defeat... Fuck. Oh, what are you doing? Fuck! And you need to defeat... There you go, beat his arm into submission. There we go, like this.
So he can't do what he normally does with his arm.
Is that a masturbation joke, babes?
Maybe.
There we go. It has quite a lot of health, but it should be done. There is also a strategy to cheese out the boss, but for the sake of this playthrough, I don't want to do it. You know, more. Let's try to beat it the fair way.
Anyway,
Go on in the meantime.
So the new Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game is interesting story. It's getting you can have you can pick from 6 different sets from the show, including the British one, it's like American,
And there
French,
we go.
Spanish,
Right.
Italian, and German.
Alright, give me a second, Wibbs, because with him being defeated, forgot if we actually get an item from it. Yes, Humanity No More War. But defeating him actually solidifies most of the lava. Not all of it, but most of it, actually.
So the decision I made was the right one.
Yeah, the other, well, to be fair, sure, the other choice would have been that I would have had to attack him directly instead. But with this, we had pillaged some nifty items. We're not sure how much useful they could be immediately for us, but they have great fire resistance. So, let's see if I managed to find it properly to showcase.
And even better, depending on the version you get, the questions are tailored to your region. So don't worry. If you end up getting your version of the game, you won't end up getting questions about what's the most famous British beer or something.
There we go. The Gold Hand Black set. Worn by the witch Quelaag of Izalith, mother of pyromancy and daughter of chaos. She wore this gold-helmet black hood before even the Age of Fire, and it offers strong resistance versus fire, poison, and other perils. It has weak as defenses, but as I mentioned, it's great against the fire enemies, which may potentially found in these dungeons. So it might be a good choice of attire. And basically, we got the whole set from this. Yeah, there we go. Now it's connected to the story. Like, let's give a recap for this, shall we? One of the High Lords that fought against the dragons at the beginning of the game was the Witch of Izalith plus her daughters, the Witches of Chaos. Now, we have already found 2 of them. One was Quelaag, the boss that we faced before getting here, and the other is the Daughter of Chaos, that is half-time, that we have forged a covenant at the beginning of this part. So the question is, something has happened to them, but what exactly, and what happened to the actual Witch of Izalith? Judging by the look of everything in this game, it's clear that it's not pleasant, but we have to go deeper for this one. There we go. Continue, the Libs.
Apparently, how that battle royale mode is going to work is that basically I think it's like 98 players,
99.
and you have 99. Sorry,
Hmm.
and it's pretty much whoever gets to the top first.
So how do you actually impede potentially other players? Like, do you can you actually, instead of using an help, do a hinder towards them or something?
Honestly, I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, what do you
Usually
do?
in these kind of battle royales, you do something that impedes
no,
other players' progress.
No, I think I've got it.
What?
50-50. You can have this so it only gets rid of 1 wrong answer instead of 2. Phone a friend. You can have the phone a really crappy friend who doesn't know the answer. And ask the audience, has all the audience's keypads break.
Unfortunately, this is one egregious example where From Software, even for the original release, was running out of time and budget when making these levels, this one and the one after this, because the enemy placement is a bit lazy. Here we start to see like a couple of Taurus demons and one of the goat demon already recycled. There are original enemies in this dungeon, but the problem is that we start to see here that they are they start to recycle a lot of the mini bosses from before. Now, the good news is that our electric spy hunter is perfect against them, so we should be good to go. Go ahead, Libs.
Oh yeah, there's also that Ask the Host lifeline that, as far as I can recall, our version, the American one, the Italian and French ones have. How would you go around messing up the Ask the Host lifeline?
The host tells you information that are not really helpful, I guess.
Or he tells you to fuck off.
Yes.
Nah, that's not very polite, Libs.
Well, considering who hosts ours, I mean.
Yeah.
That's Stephen Fry.
No, Jeremy Clarkson.
I guess it's not very polite on your
how would
really.
Teo, how would the host go about not answering a question well in your version?
We will stall in kind of a sense, but in a very jokey kind of like way. Basically, the thing about our host is that he loves to make jokes. He's very comedic, kind of a guy. He's not brash. It's more like one of those people who loves to just make a joke for the sake of it and look smart because of it. To give you an idea, this guy in the early 90s was a politician, a minor politician actually, and because of that he's still receiving the so-called political pension. Basically, despite the fact that he's working for television, he's receiving guaranteed money for something that he barely did. Because that's how politics work in my country. But he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy for conducting, for being a TV host. It's just that, when you start peeling the surface, it's not as bright as it seems.
Oh, and even better news for your version, Teo.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually filming it in Italy again this time.
As opposed to?
Poland.
They did it when?
When your version got revived.
I didn't even knew that.
I guess they did a good job hiding it.
I guess.
I mean, it's back in. Where do you film stuff normally? Milan?
Either Rome or Milan. Rome is usually the go-to, but to be fair, no, it's a Mediaset program, so yeah, it's probably near my city, Milan. There we go, we got the Taurus demons. Now, there are some items scattered around here, but as you can see, part of the floor is still lava, so we cannot really go through them at the moment. Just keep that in mind for later, because we might get something that can help us. Let's progress further and get instead the gold demon. Now, one item that I could not get for this run is the Black Knight Greatsword, or the normal sword, because that has an inherent bonus of damage against demon enemies, and it would be perfect for this place. But alas, what can you do? Oops, sorry. Thankfully, both the Goat Demon and the Taurus Demons have the same stats as they had the first time we encountered, so now they're much more easy to deal with, and we can potentially drop their items. So thankfully, they're much of a piece of cake when it goes to go around. But we might actually have an unexpected guest returning from before. Actual couple of parts ago, so I wouldn't blame you if you don't remember who he is. Let's see, I think it showed up here. Especially because I'm human. There we go! Dark Spirit Knight Kirk has returned. It's not Captain Kirk Dweebs, by the way. If you don't remember, this guy ambushed us in the sewers. Unfortunately, we still need to, there we go, pull him down. So let's see what piece of equipment gives to us. His shield and his sword. Basically, as I mentioned, part of his equipment has the inherent passive that deals damage on contact, meaning that it's very useful for just rolling around enemies potentially. if you're a dodgy type. Fuck. Don't you never get tired? Ugh. There we go. Fortunately, the road here is kind of paved with gold demons, so let's see if we can deal with them easy. I don't have any salt to give you, sorry. There we go. I could potentially also jump down to get to the bonfire immediately, but no, it's better to do this way, especially because some of the new enemy introduced here can be quite dangerous for us. The god demons and the Taurus demons are actually more, manageable. Fuck. But the other news, not as much. There we go. Now let's go with this one. And zap. There we go. There's the bonfire. Alright, the new enemy type we should be introduced. Oh no. Yeah, almost now. I think around this point. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Demon statues. These things breathe fire. And so, but they're relatively slow, but if they manage to catch you, they will stagger you. So it's very important if you don't get caught in crossfire, especially because sometimes they can spawn in en masse. We need to get down these stairs, but first let me see if I can toggle a bit around because let's see, there's an item here. Let's get it. So I'll proud out. And what a curious construction built around this place. Wonder what that is.
Something dangerous, I'm sure.
Nah, I'm sorry, Shiori. What could possibly be dangerous when... Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a giant worm.
Oh.
I hate this. Alright, time to bust up. Let's see if our fire... Let's see if time to test our pyromancy skill. Taste this! It doesn't do much, but it's something. Let's see if we can cheese it.
Don't worry, we'll keep doing this. It'll only take us a day to get rid of this thing.
Sometimes cheesing it is the best strategy, Dweebs. And hey, we can actually start using our pyromancer skills to the proper test. It's not as bad as it is.
The worm who lives in the lava cave doesn't seem to mind very much.
Alright, let's use this instead.
Well, I mean, Shiori, remember, we've seen strange weaknesses before. Remember Amazing Spider-Man 2, where Electro's weakness is electricity.
There we go. Now,
I mean, I get too much of something, but still.
We use the power of Iron Flash to become more resistant, but there we go. As you may notice, we became a bit too sturdy. Now, I mentioned this a couple of parts ago, but this particular pyromancy was broken as fuck in the vanilla game, because people would exploit this to become nearly invincible doing some boss fight like Save the Scaleth. So From Software and Bandai Namco patched it to death to make sure no one will use it again, which is a bit of a shame. Anyway, let's repair stuff. There we go.
Don't you dare cheese through our game.
This is
and
Dark
let's power
Souls.
up, bitch. Let's power up, Vitality, might as well. Let's reinforce our health bar. Alright, we're good to go, because we're soon for another boss fight. And soon enough about the shortcut that I mentioned. First, let's get rid of the demon statues. There we go. Now, the Taurus demon that we faced before will not respawn, but this one potentially will. So if you plan on going ahead, just make sure to be prepared to face it properly, because the other one were also optional. There we go. You can get also trinkets from left and right, so let's try to get also these Taurus demon. Go ahead, Lives. You wanted to say something? Fuck.
Oh, I think I'll remember it soon.
There we go.
Oh yeah, there was something I wanted to mention.
Gone.
I was looking through like different. I was looking for like lists of anime ending songs.
Oh,
Top
great.
10 anime ending songs.
And see if there are any more unique ones in that they use a Western song instead of making their own J-pop theme. Apparently, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure
Yeah.
used "Walk Like an Egyptian" by the
Yes,
Bangles as an
What?
ending song.
for specifically for part 3 because it involves for the character going to Egypt actually. Basically, it lives Hirohiko Araki, the creator of JoJo, is a huge Westaboo. So he loves to put reference. Or every character has names as a reference to like Western music or Western art of some kind. For example, the antagonist Dio is a reference to Ronnie James Dio, for example. Fuck!
There's also this one.
Fuck! No! Shit! Ass!
Welcome to the Angry Video Game. Anyway.
Oh my god! It literally insta-killed me. I didn't knew that, but he could do that. Fuck.
Anyway, there's also this anime. There's also this anime called Paradise Kiss that used a song from Franz Ferdinand of all people.
Anyway, it wasn't done, Dweebs. Basically, Dweebs, since part 3 is about the characters, like I mentioned, going to Egypt, they decided to put in theme the ending Walk Like an Egyptian, but there's all over the place. You know the meme of to be continued, that ending screen, that, you know, in an abrupt situation gets the to be continued screen? That's also another popular song. I've forgotten the title and artist escapes me right now, but it is an actual existing song. But he saw basically a Colbert bomb because of this.
So yeah, I was saying there's that anime at Paradise Kiss that used a Franz Ferdinand song called "Do You Want To?"
There we go.
I mean, what's next? Are we gonna have My Hero Academia end with Wonderwall?
Well, that depends on the theme and the company responsible. It got to a point, Waves, that since every JoJo part has music themed according to the timepiece that the party is, set in. Since part 4 is set around the early 2000s, people actually unironically wanted All Star from Smash Mouth as the ending song. Unfortunately, they couldn't. Honestly, considering how part 4 is more like tarted and a slice of life story, it would have actually fit. I have to admit that.
I don't really know any anime that had English songs for the ending that weren't English versions of Japanese songs. I mean,
there was also this anime called Eden of the East that used an Oasis song for its opening.
Huh.
All right.
Although Funimation, when they licensed the show, they could only afford to license the song for one episode. For the rest of the episodes, just use some generic song.
All right, choice time. This one is actually pretty okay. No real tension going on. Open up is another boss. On the right instead is towards the shortcut. I can tell this the boss is pretty manageable, so it's not like I say, it's gonna insta kill us immediately and bad choice. It's just a matter: do you want to see the boss first, or do you want to try the shortcut first?
Shortcut.
Sherry?
Shortcut.
And there it is. Let's go. All right. What I'm supposed to do is to get here. Don't worry, we will still be able to see the boss on another time. Here is to just go here.
I've been playing a bit more of Crash Bandicoot 4.
How is
Crash
it?
Banooka 4.
I gotta say, Embryo's boss is the first boss that I only died once.
Huh.
So it's the easiest of them? You say?
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I need to test it on my
Once or
own, but from what
twice.
I've seen, engine doesn't seem to be too difficult.
Engines is the
Oh,
the
he is
music
actually in the game.
The first one, it's the first boss here.
Yep.
It's not
Oh.
super spoilery.
Well, it is a bit weird though hearing Embryo voiced by Sonic now.
Anyway,
Oh.
let me give a second to mention. You see these insects? They drop red titanite, not too much of a complex. There we go. But one of them is the key to the survival of Solaire, ironically enough. Thanks to our intervention with the Daughter of Chaos Covenant, we can now open this door, which otherwise would have been locked. Whoa, pretty door. And we can find among these the Sunlight Maggot. Let's see which of these is the proper one. Basically, one of these we need to kill. If we don't and progress it through the story normally, Solaire will eventually found his way here, and believing that the maggot would have been the sun that he was searching for, he would have dawned on it and became mad from the experience. There it is. Let me put it up just to showcase how it potentially could have been. First, the flavor text. A loathsome parasite that inhabits Lost Izalith. It's completely immobile, yet still lives. When worn on the head, it emanates blinding light, which is why it's known as a sunlight maggot. There we go. Now, gameplay-wise, it is really useful because, there we go, it irradiates light, which allows you to see in darker places, which will be very useful for the Tomb of the Giants that we'll have to tackle later on. But yeah, if Solaire could have got his hands on this thing, it would have been basically, it would have become mad, and we would have had to kill him because of this. So basically, thanks to our chances, Solaire instead can live another day. So there's that. And thanks to this shortcut, we also get to go directly to Lost Izalith, skipping 2 bosses actually. We just need to pass through this Titanite demon. We don't have to fight him. We can just sprint. And good day, sir. Sorry, not buying anything.
I picked up Fruity All Stars recently.
Uh huh.
I haven't tried it yet.
Sure. So, do you plan to tackle them in sequence order, like 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy?
Yes.
All right.
So yeah, Shiori, Entropy's now, so Embryo's now voiced by Roger Craig Smith.
Yeah, I honestly don't get. I honestly don't get what's the behind the scenes problem at Activision in voicing the Crash characters, considering stuff has changed between the Insane Trilogy, Nitro Fueled, and now this.
So Coco's
Well, I mean,
not
at least
kept her
Cortex
voice?
is. I mean, at least Cortex is still.
Yeah, it's still like slang, and it's still glorious, of course.
Although now, yeah, they changed Coco's voice for the first time since Rapper Cortex. Now it's Eden Rigel, aka
Eden Regal, the sister of Sam Regal. Basically,
she was Hifumi from Persona 5, so now we've got Confidants invading.
Well, if you want another similar, I don't know if you remember that much, but she voiced the devil in Popola in the first year.
It's a shame because I liked Coco's voice.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, Eden Rigel's not bad. I mean, honestly, if I had to know there was a voice change, I wouldn't have noticed.
There's also the fact that... sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, so it's kind of like the Kate Higgins situation with Tails.
There's also the fact that, well, as for my country, most of the voice actors are fine, but they're given a bit of a bad direction. Corte's voice actor is a great one. It's fitting, honestly, on his own. It's just that he's given the direction of sounding kind of like an idiot, even when it's supposed to be menacing. It's weird.
I mean, Cortex is a bit of a buffoon at times, but I wouldn't call him an idiot.
Yeah.
Especially considering the start of the game, where a certain individual that hangs around him isn't around. Which I gotta say, that was a pretty bold move on Toys for Pop's
Bold and
part.
brash, yes.
Are you referring to Tana?
No. Something else that it wasn't shown in the trailers. So that's why we're not spoiling it.
Sure.
The thing is that I honestly don't really like it. I get the idea on why probably they did it, but it's just, I'm just not agreeing with that.
Well, the next game will probably have him back anyway, so.
Probably. Honestly, it's like they keep. It's funny. This is the Crash 4 is a game that hampers a lot in terms of story and talks about how they want to change the status quo, and they seem like they want to do that. But in the end of the day, if you want to make a fifth game, they can easily, retcon everything to make sure they still go through that.
It's a story
Anyway.
and a platformer. It's not like anyone's paying attention.
Yeah. Oh shit! Among the enemies, there's one pyromancer that we had to fight.
Especially a platformer that's not
Donning,
really
oh fuck.
place.
Oh fuck! Donning the robes of the Daughters of Chaos. Thankfully, I managed to kill her before it became too dangerous, because otherwise she would have used the Chaos Pyrostorm. And we get the Izalith Catalyst. It's not really useful. It's mostly useful for mages. But let's see if I can find it.
Honestly, I think Spyro is a bit more. Well, Spyro is the one that's more about.
There we go. Catalyst of a witch of Izalith of long ago, when her daughters were still flame witches, before they were engulfed by the Chaos Flame. Before the birth of pyromancy, their wands were mediums for sorcery, but knowledge of this flame sorcery has long since vanished. So, what a tragic tale.
I heard that as there were once memes for sorcery.
Alright, let me deal with this quick demon, because we're about to get the actual boss fight. That's one of the more infamous one, and unfortunately it's one we cannot really skip. Let's open this chest before here, because we missed actually a lot of stuff at the Chaos Fire with, but there we go. Unfortunately this one is one of the more infamous one, and also what a nice view. It looks like a starry sky, but it's molten magma.
It is nice.
Alright. I'm gonna do something here quickly, but it's mostly exclusive for Italians, more of a reference, so bear with it, you two. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Allora, oh, 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 God. Basically, it's a reference to one streamer in my country who basically imitated this being a slide similar to a theme park.
Oh.
There we go, the Battle Chaos. This is a bitch, to the point where Miyazaki himself had to publicly apologize because he thought that the boss was too unfair, even for his taste. Considering the stuff
So
that we
make
had
it fairer then.
Unfortunately, they couldn't even fix it post-patch. Basically,
Oh, wow.
what's the deal with this boss? You're supposed to bomb rush through here and defeat the 2 catalysts before going to the core of the boss and kill it. The problem is that the boss has a huge range, this tree thingy, and as you will see soon, the floor will start collapsing, forcing you to proceed through a narrow path. And the boss will constantly try to swoop you around. Basically, it's not much of a test of endurance, more like of a test of, rush and reflex and patience. And if you take too long, the boss will start casting powerful pyromancies. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Will start casting powerful pyromancies and will force you to move even if you don't want to. It's not good as a boss fight. It's actually the worst of the.
Well, I mean, you got a public apology over it.
Yeah, we got that at least. It's still doable. You're still required to do it, but we might spend as much.
What was the apology like? Was it like in that video? Was it like at that little video that the guest what development was like on World 2, where it's like, yeah, sorry about that.
No, it was more like one of the interviews where he said, yeah, in hindsight, we should have programmed it better. Fuck, 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 fuck! Let's get it. It's really hard to potentially do this boss first try, actually. Now, the good thing is that your damage stacks, so if you die here, you don't have to redo the 2 catalysts all over again, thankfully. At least there is a bit of mercy in this boss fight. Unfortunately, again, you need it's a fight or flight sim, test reflexes. Fuck!
Speaking of remasters,
Fuck!
I've also
Sorry,
been playing.
Drews.
I've also been
sorry.
playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2.
How are they?
Oh, it's great! It's great. I mean, it's a huge breath of relief after Pro Skater 5. I haven't played Pro Skater 5.
Fuck!
Which is what I've heard.
Oh,
I was so close. Damn it.
Although it is interesting how they chose to portray the historical skateboarders as their current age.
More of a legacy thing, I
Yeah,
guess.
so yeah, hey kids, if you want to play as a 52-year-old Tony Hawk,
Now you can do it.
yeah.
All right, what's the timer?
Well, mind, he was the guy who, I mean, he did manage to do a
I'll check
a
that.
900 in his late 40s, so but there you go.
36 minutes.
All right, we can still do stuff. So let me use this occasion to actually go to back to the Ash Lake, so we can. Wait, where is it? Fuck, I think the Ash Lake doesn't have a bonfire spot. All right, change of plans. Let me just instead go back to. Well, might as well instead continue here. Might as well. Instead of redoing it boss immediately, let's just proceed as intended. Because now we've got the Sunlight Maggot, we can potentially defeat the other two bosses normally. There we go. There we go. I've never actually been good at skating games with this, so unfortunately that is not for me.
I might do a comment about recording a new one for the channel.
But I mean, it's good that things have gotten better for both Activision when it comes to the Tony Hawk license, because after 5 it looked like the relationship had gone very sour, and it would have destined to go nowhere. But it's nice that instead there is
I mean,
a bit
Vicarious
more
Vision.
positivity.
Well, I mean, Vicarious Visions did have experience with Tony Hawk in the past, so specifically the hand. I think they did the handheld versions of like Pro Skaters 2, 3, and 4.
I don't remember which one I actually played, but my only experience with that franchise is playing quite a bit of one of them at a friend's house.
My main experiences were Pro Skater 3 and Underground 2.
In general, my only real experience with skating games, quote unquote, are the mini games in Spyro 3. So.
Oh, yeah, I didn't really like those. Like I mean, I still could manage to get through, but that racing thing in the extra world, that was so brutal that I never bothered.
Oh, I loved that actually. I actually think I found that one slightly easier than the version of that in the main game.
Really?
Yeah. I remember having a slightly easier time with it.
Alright, as you can see, this is the Demon Fire stage, which is a reskin of the Warden Demon from the Undead Asylum. There we go. But it has firepower, so it's totally different, guys. Ah, fuck. It does deal a lot more damage, but like I said, it should be still doable. Or maybe not. Well, that was unexpected. Alright, one last attempt. If it will not succeed, I'll just stop it here. Might as well. Not to drag too much into this. There we go. Well, like, despite me not liking too much the skate, I do commend the fact that Spyro Year of a Dragon actually has a lot more difficult mini games compared to Spyro 2.
Mm-hmm.
Spyro 2 is mostly manageable. Everyone brings up the trolley, and I always bring up the crystal popcorn. But also, for
I
example,
hate the crystal popcorn.
me too. But there's also potentially the escort mission with the alchemist, in fractured hills. Um, so there is that, but they're still relatively manageable. 3, you can tell that there are more, mini games that do make you struggle a bit more already relatively early on.
The only, because there are always a handful, but there's one in particular, the one in Fireworks Factory with the 2 dragons. I
Oh, right,
I
that
don't
one.
like that.
I also tested on my own. The Dancing trilogy doesn't really fix us that much. If anything, it makes it a bit more challenging.
Oh, great. It's
I
not
honestly
that
don't
it was.
understand.
It's not that it was challenging. It was just monotonous. I guess is the best way to describe it.
It's more also the fact, Shir, that you need to aim properly, and when the ghost, sorry, the the dragons become like one segment, they're
And then they
nearly
grow back
impossible.
anyway.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
grow back immediately. So
Although you can, like, Spyro 2, I think, was the first time they actually tried to put mini games in this. You could tell with 3, they actually got they had a good idea of how to actually implement them.
yeah, there we go, almost there. See, like I said, it's still relatively manageable. It's just a matter of
I played some of Spyro 3
Mhm.
through the Reignited trilogy. I gotta be honest,
yes.
I actually prefer Spyro 3's music remixed than the original.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I haven't heard the full Reignited soundtrack.
Like I much prefer the skateboarding levels music in the newer one compared to the other one.
I already know I wasn't keen on, because I have heard the Reignited version of Bamboo Terrace, is it?
Oh, the one with the pandas, yes.
Yeah, I did not like that.
There we go.
One of my
yeah.
favorite remixes was the one in the ice level in the first game.
Hmm.
I
It
don't
sounds
remember
a
the
lot
name
more
of the. I don't remember the name of the stage, but I do
Ice
like
Cavern?
that track. Mm-hmm.
I think Ice Cavern. Yeah, I do enjoy how it's more. It feels more icy.
Well, and we got
Makes
the
sense.
demon catalyst from this fat guy. Let's see what it says. Demon catalyst formed from Izalith molten rock. Can be used as a fire weapon. The demon fire sage was the first demon and the last master of the original fire arts. Before the Witch of Izalith was engulfed by chaos, creating pyromancy. So we do know that the Witch of Izalith hasn't received a good fate, but you will have to wait for us to see what will happen to that. For now, let's proceed forward. I will unlock one more shortcut and one more bonfire, and when we can close out. Ow.
And there are a couple of levels music-wise that don't sound all that different from the other one, like Stone
it's one
Hill, for
thing.
example.
Yeah, it's one thing that I noticed. Like compared to the Crash Insane trilogy, the music, the remixes from Pyro seem to be more consistent. I guess it helps that we had the supervision of the original composer. So
Who composed the title
The
music?
title, yeah, Stuart Copeland did the title. I think he
Yes.
said in an interview he said he was working on it anyway, but then Activision or Toys for Bob got in contact and he said, "Okay, I'll just give her this theme then."
might as well just dump it here.
I know
Yeah.
Dark Hollow doesn't sound that different because that track was always quite quiet.
Unlike the Insane trilogy, they understand better how to use the bass instruments. That's
Which
one of
is-
the problems.
They still watered it down, and that's my main issue.
Which is interesting because in the version of that song that came out with that theme, the bass wasn't as pronounced there. I'm guessing they had a few criticisms and they tuned up the bass for the final version at least.
Hmm. All right,
And honestly, even for the tracks, the remix tracks that I'm not so keen on, I'm not that miffed considering you can just go back to the original ones
Exactly,
anyway. So.
yeah. That's why
uh,
I haven't made a big issue out of it.
all right, and by standing on this platform, we unlock an elevator. Yeah, with elevator music.
Yes.
I did get, I can't get my phone. I can't get GarageBand out that quickly. Give me a bit of warning next
Think
time.
fast. Anyway, too bad we're already there, and we are back. There you go at Quelaag domain where we started. Again, this unlocks basically a huge shortcut. Thankfully, there's another bonfire to get to, but I think we can just close it here, especially because it gives you more time to prepare more. So hopefully in the next part we can potentially beat the battle chaos, and then we'll see what to do afterward. So until then, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.